My marriage before Ndoa, actually it was nose diving. We had separated from each other for 3 years. And this was when we were in Europe, in UK, and my wife decided to come back to Uganda, to relocate to Uganda.
If you want to answer the question how our marriage was, it was bad. 2009, we decided I had to return to Uganda, and we agreed Sam would follow suit in 2011, but however, he would be coming in and out in those 2 years. At that time I returned, I was pregnant with our son. That was in 2009. 2011, he promised he was going to return in December, and when we called him, he said he could not return because he had gone into full-time ministry.
I felt doing God's work was what I was really called to do. Missing out the fact that my family was my first ministry.
At that time, I felt let down, I felt betrayed. And 2012, December, when I had been overwhelmed with so much, I decided to call it quits. So I asked for a divorce on our anniversary and I took off my rings.
So when I had that, I was forced to return to Uganda. And on returning to Uganda, it was something very different. As you can imagine with me, 3 years away from each other, it's a very long time.
So in 2013, January, when Sam returned, Pastor Njo told me about a marriage program that Mavuno runs called Ndoa.
I ended up doing the course just for a quick fix, just like a tool, or you'd pick something from a toolbox and say, this is a spanner, let me just try to fix this. And if it works, well and good.
My experience in Ndoa, one, I learned how to deal with my husband. I realized we are totally different when it comes to our temperaments, and which was the main cause of most of our fights.
I just got to learn to die of self, and also to realize that my wife submitted and she accepted me the way I was, much as I was away from her.
The one thing actually that they kept on telling us in Ndoa is you fight for your marriage, you don't fight in your marriage. And then you pray for him and ask God to change you, because we can't change people.
If it was not for my wife to invite me to Mavuno, Kampala, and for Pastor Njoro to introduce me to Ndoa, I think by now I would be divorced. It meant I wouldn't have been with my children. I wouldn't be happy, especially my children, Aliyah, Josiah, and Ariana.
So I can say yes, through Ndoa, we were reconciled, and it's because of Ndoa that we are actually here training as pastors.
How we met, I vividly remember the day when we met. It was a lunch hour when I first saw Christine. And I followed her and got to know where she was working, a pharmacy in the small city where we met. And from that time on, I kept going and frequenting the place.
He told me he was sick, so I had to do due diligence and treated the patient. So I prescribed him some antibiotics. Yeah. And then he came back for a refill and another refill, which I refused. Because now I realized he was becoming a drug addict. Little did I know he actually had a motive why he was coming to the pharmacy.
Seated here, 10 years in marriage and making 11 years in December this year, it's just only God.